What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chris Clark Podcast Show. It's your boy Chris Clark, sponsored by Chris Clark Entertainment. That's right, sponsor my own shows. We got a good one today. I wanted to talk about this topic while it's hot on social media and around the world. The Ayesha Curry statement that she did on the Red Table Talk with Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. We're going to get into it. We got some guests in the house tonight. My lovely wife is back again. And we got some friends of ours, that's going to come, and we're going to talk about the topic. So we got 2 males, 2 females, and we're going to get into it. But first, we got a couple announcements that we want to, share, a couple events going on. First, we have, Spark to Inspire presents Unveiling Superwoman Empowerment Breakfast, and that is May 18th of 2019, hosted by Gwen Gooseby Tillery, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tickets are $10. It's at the Urban Promise Academy, 27 North 36th Street in Camden, New Jersey. To purchase tickets or to become a vendor, visit spark2 inspire.org. We also got Janine Lingo. She's a travel agent. She has her own travel agency. You can go to www.janinelingo.intellistravel.com, or you can call her at 786-278-0783. Join her travel group, Midlife Travel, on Facebook. That's Janine Lingo, for all your traveling needs. And also my event, can't forget my event, June 1st, I called The Old. We're doing the encore performance, sold out back on March 16th. We had a great show, so we're doing it again on June 1st, in Vineland, New Jersey at Heaven's Way Bethshan Baptist Church, 1029 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. For tickets, please go to chrisclarkproductions.com. And while you're there, sign up for the newsletter. Stay connected with Chris Clark Entertainment. So, with all that being said, we are going to get into our topic, about validation. Talk about validation. You as a husband or a wife, boyfriend or a girlfriend, or even if you're just in a relationship, do you need validation from outside your relationship to feel appreciated, feel beautiful, feel handsome? So we're going to talk about it. Please welcome, we have Kiana Walker and Will Walker. And we also have my wife, Brittany Clark.
Hey, guys!
So, let's get into it. Obviously, this question raised a lot of eyebrows. Got a lot of arguments going on social media, outside social media, all because of
inside households,
started fights. It did a lot of things. Ayesha Curry was on the Red Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith. She has a show on Facebook with her daughter and also her mother. And this particular episode, she had the first ladies of basketball, what they called in this the Currys. It was Ayesha Curry, who's married to superstar NBA player Steph Curry. It was Steph Curry's mother, Steph Curry's brother Seth Curry, who's also in the NBA, played for the Portland Trailblazers. His wife was on there, and Steph Curry's sister, and I believe that was all that was on the show, far as that. And the ladies got to talking, and it was a part of the program where Ayesha brought up that in the past 10 years, a lot of women throw themselves at her husband, but in the past 10 years that she's been getting no male attention, and she kind of felt was thinking is something wrong with her. I personally didn't agree with the statement, but y'all get my opinion later. I want to talk to Will and Kiana and Brittany and get their thoughts. So we'll start with the ladies. So what do you think about Aisha's statement?
Well, I would say I agree with her at the stage that she's in her development as a woman. Mm-hmm. I think that women, we grow. We're not we're not the same. I'm not the same woman Will married 10 years ago. We change. Everybody grows and develops. And I think in her development, I can identify with being insecure. When you're married and you've been with someone since you were a teenager, and you're basically your only source of validation when it comes to external sources is through your husband. Okay. And when, things might, when you've been together for a long time and routine and things happen, and you, as husbands, might forget to say, I appreciate you, or you look beautiful. Here we go.
Will's giving some eyebrows here.
But I'm just saying, I can see where she says that, because it's not like Aisha, brands herself as wanting attention, right? She brands herself as a mother, as a wife, and so therefore I think there's men out there that don't go into her DM because that's how she brands herself. But it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with her.
I think that's why that statement was so shocking, especially to me, because how I view the Currys. I actually am a big fan of Steph. My favorite basketball player is LeBron. I only root against Steph when he playing against LeBron. But just to see them outside, because his situation is similar to mine. Been with my wife since teenage years, 3 kids. So they always confess their faith to God. And then for you to hear a statement like that from her, it was very, very shocking. Not shocking that she felt that way, is it shocking that, for me, that she would say that on that type of platform. Because personally, I think that type of conversation should have been between her and her husband. Or if she was going to have the girl talk, it shouldn't have been no cameras around.
But I think it was her way of being authentic and allowing people to see her truth and how she was feeling. When you are living that type of life, right, and you are in the limelight, I think that, you want to expose your truth. You don't want it to be fake and pretend to be like everything is, okay and everything is perfect when it's really not. So I think that it's important that's how you help other people. That's how you can relate to other people, and someone can say, wow, she feels that way, but yet, she still is married to her husband. She still is faithful to her husband. Having those insecurities.
I get that, what you're saying, but here's my thing with that. There was no resolution. It's like, all right, that's her truth. I get it, but how did you come out of that? At the end of the show, you still feel the same way. Like, you never told me, let's just say me and Brittany, I feel insecure, and I went on the show and said, I don't get any female attention. Let's just say that. Now, I went and I said, yeah, I used to feel that way. I used to feel like I needed women's attention, but then I realized all the attention I need is from my wife right here. It was just something in my head messing up. That's what I felt like she should have said. Like, there was no, I don't feel like it helped nobody. It was just, she feel the same way I do. Bam. It's not like, how can you help me bring it out?
No, I think she did help a lot of people, because it doesn't necessarily need a resolution, right?
No, she was trying to say something.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Britt. Go ahead.
I feel on the fence with this. Not on the fence, but mixed feelings with it. Only because stop.
Nah, go ahead. I was trying to
only because I am a married woman, but I also can relate to some of the things that she was saying, and I feel like in that particular episode, I can see why so many women applauded her for being so honest and being so open about how she was feeling. But if you go back to that statement, I felt bad for her. I felt sorry for her that she feels the need to have outside attention to basically validate herself or feel beautiful about herself. And then it made me question what happens behind closed doors. Why does she feel the need to say that, or why does she feel that way?
But she told why she needed that.
Well, I think there was a lot more to it. If we're just looking at that statement and not the entire episode, if we just go off of what she said in that moment, and then I go off of the comments that I read on Facebook about people saying, you know, women can't be pleased. You know, here she is. She's got a good man.
That is true.
She's got a good man, you know, 3 beautiful children, a happy life, all of this money. He's given her basically this platform to have her own career, you know, and make her own goals happen. But we don't know what happens when the reporters are gone.
Right.
We don't know what happens when, you know, there's no social media, nobody's posting, and it's just her and Steph. So we don't know how he's making her feel. You know, all she sees is all of these women that don't look like her, because she, like Kiana was saying, she doesn't portray herself as a video vixen. She's not, if you go through her social media feed, it's her children, Faith, inspiring, her family life, her goals. She's not half naked. She's natural. Like, that is her. You know, she doesn't have lip injections, booty injections, none of that. That's her. So here she has all of these other women, like I said, that do not look like her, who are like that, throwing themselves at her husband, and then she might not be getting that the same attention at home from her husband. It's probably making her feel insecure, because now she is. She should
only feel insecure if her husband is entertaining it.
We don't know, but that's what I'm saying. We only see what is.
I said that to you yesterday or the day before. When you said it might be trouble in paradise.
Right.
I said that her statement to me, what I got out of it was, it's a cry for help.
Okay. Yeah.
Not just to her girlfriends or family, but to Steph.
Right.
I mean, like, we're not in her home. Maybe she had this conversation with Steph. Maybe he blew her off. He didn't listen. Maybe she said, well, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to say it on live TV. You know, then now
he's listening.
Now he got to listen. Like, this is the way I feel.
Right.
But it's
and I understand where you're coming from, Chris, as far as like a marriage, you know, is a covenant, is a union, is privacy. There's certain things that you don't discuss with other people. There's certain things that you keep within your 4 walls with you and your spouse. So I understand how you feel as though she should have never said that, but you also have to think about the platform that was laid out for her. It's Red Table Talk. It's women talk. It's about, you know, a bunch of girlfriends getting together and talking, except the only difference is there was cameras around. You know, like some of those conversations that were being had, me and Yanni have.
And I get that, but it goes back to what I said earlier. It's okay to feel that way, and if she said it on there, but I guess it's me. I'm thinking, but it's like, how can we have to help people that feel this way.
Right.
Like, we need to say something to help people that's going through this way.
Right.
And it would have been all right. I would have been all team Aisha if Jada, Mrs. Curry, and the rest of the girls would have helped her. They didn't.
I think in that situation, if you watch the episode, they didn't. Their way of helping was, okay, they saw that it bothered her. So this is how female. Let me just.
But to me, they made it feel like it's all right.
But this is how.
And I don't think it. I don't. To me,
but it is all right.
I mean, no, it's not all right, because I'm coming at it from two different points. I'm coming at it as a man, and I'm also coming at it as a husband.
Right.
How I would have felt if my wife went on TV and said that. You know, that's our business. Now, even if, whether I'm doing it or not, now people know that there's trouble in paradise. They know that I'm not giving my wife enough attention. You know what I mean? And then as a man, because I feel like, what if Steph would have made that statement? All hell would have broke loose. It would have been totally different if Steph would have made that statement.
Right.
And everybody would have jumped down. If he would have said the same thing, I'm not. I feel I'm in the past 10 years. I'm not getting the.
But is that
all
the
these
truth?
guys?
Is that reality?
Yes.
Is that real?
Yes.
Okay, so if I said, yo, ain't
No,
nobody in my DMs.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yo, Chris, man, ain't no chicks in my DMs. Now, if I said that on for national TV or something, you'd have been like, what?
But
Why
is that reality?
It is reality. Look. What's the girl named? Tiana
Taylor.
John Taylor?
Tiana Taylor, Amon Shumpert. Mm-hmm. He's ugly.
In your opinion, right?
He's ugly.
In your opinion, as a man. But I'm sure there's women out there that find him attractive. If not attractive, his money attractive.
There's guys that find Ayesha attractive. She's not an ugly girl at all.
And I think
It's
for
different.
her, like I go back to how she is portraying herself is because it's all out of respect. They know that she's married.
Right.
You know what I mean? For example, you take Ayesha Curry and you take Kim Kardashian. They're both married. They both have 3 children.
But
they
look
both,
at the brand.
But look at the brand. And look at their husbands. Like, Kim Kardashian can be, like, if you look on her social media, she's in bed naked.
Yeah,
Like,
She shows her body all the time. Her body is her platform.
that is her
It is.
platform. But
That's
for
how
her-
she got famous.
But exactly. But the point that I'm trying to make a point here, the point that I'm trying to make is because of the way that she is portraying herself, she's seeking that I feel like she's
Right.
asking
She
for
wants that attention.
that attention. So therefore she's going to get those comments from the men, you know, and then as her husband, if he's okay with her showing something that I feel as a married woman is only for my husband, if he's okay with her showing that to other men, then I feel like to guys, that's just like, all right, so if she's doing this, her husband feels like it's okay,
Right.
you know, that she's showing her naughty bits, then, you know, I'm going to shoot my shot. Whereas here you have Ayesha Curry, who is not like that. And then guys look at that and they respect that. They respect her union. They respect her marriage. They respect what she portrays.
She's not
and,
looking.
and what she's about.
Right.
So of course she's not going to get that same attention that somebody like Kim Kardashian is getting because they both are portraying different.
But is
different
that
things.
what she want?
Who? Kim?
Do she want the type of guys that's going after Kim Kardashian in her inbox? Is that
No,
the type of
I
attention
don't
she's
think
talking
that's what
about?
she was saying.
Well, then why
And
was
I
that
think that's
statement?
where.
Yeah, what was
So
the point
what?
of that statement?
As a
I
woman,
think-
no, as a woman, since y'all
Well, I'm
understood
going to
her,
answer
what
that as
what
from
type
my,
of attention is she
from,
looking
from
for?
my point of and this is where I feel like me and Kiana are.
Granted, before you go on, she said male attention.
Okay,
She just
so
didn't say attention.
I'm about to
She said
address
male
that.
attention.
I'm about to address that.
Okay.
I think when, you know, going through the comments of other women and then even me and Kiana, we don't agree on everything because I feel like it depends on that person's circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't agree with that comment because I'm happily married. And the only attention that I want and I yearn for is my husband's attention. And then some circumstances where I've been in where guys have been vulgar and slapped my butt or, you know, made comments that made me feel uncomfortable as a woman, I don't want that attention. You know what I'm saying? But that's my circumstance. That's my truth. This is her truth. That's her circumstance. Her circumstances are different. You know, that's why I feel like, is that marriage happy? Does she feel like, is everything good in that life that she feels as though...
But what type of attention do she want?
I'm pretty sure just a comment,
Because
you know?
there's two different type of males. You have the vulgar ones, then you have the respectable ones.
And I think, and I understand, and that's where she's charting, you know, trouble territory, scary territory, because we don't know what attention she wants. Because I honestly feel like me and Kiana were having this conversation. A guy can, whether he's married or you're married or whatever, a guy can respectfully give a woman a compliment and not cross that boundary. Mm-hmm. And then there's those men that give you those vulgar compliments and they cross that boundary where it's leaving you feeling uncomfortable and just grossed out. So for her, I think she could have, like you said, Chris, clarified it a little bit more. What do you mean by attention? You know, is it just a like?
Yeah. I
is
think
it just
her mother-in-law
you're pretty?
should have said that. Like,
is it just you know, while she's
What do you mean?
But I think,
but is it like, is it
my
just
son you married to? Like,
but is it?
she didn't get that.
But is it like when she's out, you know, because when Steph is out, like she said, when Steph is out, and even when she's there present, women still throw themselves at him, even though she's there. And that just goes to show you the level of respect those women have for themselves and for a marriage. And I think for men, it's different. Like, I've never had, or I don't even think a guy would even be that dumb enough to come and approach me while I'm with you. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's where
it's different.
It's different. That's where
different.
men and women are different. Like, a guy wouldn't do that. So I think for her, when she says she needs to clarify on that, like you said, like, what does she mean? Does she mean like the same attention Steph is getting by women throwing themselves at him while she's there? Or is it just as simple as, you know, a comment underneath a post? You're beautiful.
But I seen in the statement, because I watched the video or the show, I seen jealousy as well.
From Aisha.
Jealousy from her husband. Regarding her husband.
And the attention that he gets.
And the attention that he gets.
I didn't
versus
see that.
I seen that. That's something else I got out of her statement. Like, oh, they throwing themselves, the women throwing themselves at him, but in the last 10 years, I'm not getting nothing. Like, it's like, oh, I want that too. You know, I want people to throw themselves at me. Now, I'm not by all means, I want to clarify, I'm not in no way, shape, or form saying that she wants to go out and cheat. I'm not saying that. But
and she even stated that.
Yeah,
she even said that.
But the attention, you know, is I felt a whole jealousy thing too. Like, I feel like she wants to be as big or bigger than Steph.
I don't think so.
Which is impossible. Which kind of offended me too, because I'm saying, like, in a marriage we're supposed to be one. Yeah. And then it's like she got her platform because of Steph. Because there are women that look better than her or don't look better than her. They're better cooks than her, but she got what she got because she's Steph Curry's wife. Whether, you know, you don't like it or not, it's the truth.
But then, so it's like, but that statement that you made,
but it's like she's trying to.
I don't think that
it's like it's like the student trying to be better than the teacher,
right?
You know
but with the statement that you, but that statement that you just made,
now I want to be bigger than you.
You're leading into the episode.
We a family. We a Curry.
But you're leading into the episode.
No, because
even she said in the episode
that was part of.
Right, but then throughout the episode, I feel like she defended that because she said that Steph had his goal and his thing was basketball, and she felt lost, so she had to find something for her, and that's why she went for the cookbook and the cooking show. You know,
and that goes to my point. I think when you're saying you see jealousy and it's a cry for help, I don't necessarily see it as a cry for help in the marriage. I think it's a cry for help when it comes to identity. Because when you think about it as a wife, right, and a mother, sometimes that can take up who you are, that you forget that I'm a woman first. That I'm Kiana before I was Will's wife, before I was my kids' mothers. I'm Kiana, and sometimes you can get lost in the shadow of your husband. And so it's like you have to find your own identity and find that source of love for yourself. And so when I thought about her comment, I was thinking I can identify because at one time I didn't love myself. I didn't think I was beautiful and needed outside attention. I yearned for my husband's attention. And it was like that was validating me when actually now in my evolution and my development, I'm at a place now where I don't need my husband's attention or someone else's attention, because before I walk out the door, I validate myself. And that's what I see she needs to evolve into.
Right.
And so I think she's at a place in her life where she's learning to love herself. She's learning she has to identify who she is. And that's what she's trying to do. I don't think it's necessarily, I need men all in my DM and I need... No, but I think that she's just trying to find herself.
The statement that she made, you have to understand, and this is like another conversation me and Shauna had, is she's 30. Mm-hmm. She just turned 30. So for us women, I can remember when I was getting to that threshold of turning 30, like it was like emotional roller coaster. Mm-hmm. 1 minute I was depressed because I was getting old and I was leaving my 20s. Mm-hmm. And then the next minute I was like looking at
Like 2 years ago.
third.
I can't wait.
I don't know.
I was looking. I'm just saying. I'm
Let him
trying to
talk.
make a point here.
But that's the point.
But then
that
the
men
next,
don't understand.
Yeah.
That women
But
evolve. It could be a year. It could be 2 years.
But that's why I think
our-
you're wrong, because y'all act like men don't go through this.
Exactly.
so enlighten us,
Tell
man.
me.
Tell
Tell
me.
me.
But
Speak
that's
your
the-
truth, man.
Talk about it.
I
want to hear it.
it ain't.
We want to
it
hear
ain't
it.
because it's always y'all don't understand. We do understand.
What's
we
the- I wanna understand.
We
Like,
handle
talking
it.
about attention.
We handle it differently.
Okay, and that's
And
where,
attention.
and we realize we're
Like,
different.
you get attention, but it's not attention. Like, it's different level to attention. Like,
Oh, jeez.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you get attention, but it ain't enough. And that's probably with her. Steph probably give her attention, but it's not enough.
And that's
She
what
wants
I'm trying
more.
to say. That was my
How much more attention
point.
do you want?
But
Yeah,
that's
but
her
it's like
development
Steph got
as
a
woman.
job. Like Steph got a job. He got a brand. He got this and that. Like, he can't give her 100% of his attention. You know, he's on the road.
I don't
You know,
think he's asking
he's
for
doing
that.
that.
What was she asking for?
But
She
it's
told-
like,
yeah,
here's
that's what I got
but-
out of the
I
situation.
know, but here's my thing. Once you get it, then what? Then it's going to be something else.
But
There
that's,
you go, right
but
there.
that's
It's
my
gonna be something. Always
point.
gonna
That's
be
exactly
something.
my point.
It's
Chris,
always gonna be
is
something.
that you have to get to a point as a woman where you
And that's what I was-
yourself.
and that's what I was trying to get to.
And that's where she has to get
Right.
to. You can't rush time. You can't
Right.
rush that. She has to do some healing within herself,
Because-
some self-loving within herself. So then that way she doesn't need a man's attention nor her husband's. When Will gives me attention now, it's extra. I love it. I'm appreciative of it. But it's not something I need, or else I don't feel good about myself. But that took time to feel this way. I didn't always feel this way. We've been married for 10 years. In the first, I want to say 8 years, we argued about you don't love me enough. But that's because I didn't love myself enough. And that's what I'm telling you, where I feel like in her development,
Sound like a personal
she,
problem.
you know what, I can't take my husband. I can't take him.
It did a little
But
personal.
but you know what? It
Yeah.
is a personal problem.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it's necessarily a problem with the marriage itself. It starts with her. It starts with him too, but it starts with her, as she has to find her identity, and she needs to find that love within herself. Take time to get to know who she
And he
is.
has to make
She
it better
do.
for her too.
Yeah.
He has to. He has to make it better for her.
But
To
that's
her,
a,
to her,
you
to her
say
to get
that.
there.
but is
I'm
that?
glad to hear you say that.
But that's just we're just
Good job,
what we're just
Way to bring it back, Will.
we're just going this we're not even sure, we're not even certain if this is why she said this. You know, this is just going off of our basic
Opinions.
off of our opinion as married couples. But like I was talking about being 30 and her being young, even though I'm only a few years older than her, I know 30 was like a birthing season for me, because I
Right.
started to evolve into who I'm truly am.
But that's,
Right.
that's,
You know,
to
and
me,
I feel
that's
like
everybody.
but listen, Chris, I feel like for her, she's not there yet.
Right.
She hasn't built, even though, yes, she is gorgeous and she's beautiful. You know how many people tell me
Beautiful.
I'm gorgeous
say
and I'm
gorgeous,
beautiful? But I'm just saying, if she doesn't feel that way about herself, then what somebody else is saying to her really doesn't matter. It's like, I can tell Kiana she's drop dead gorgeous all day long, but if she doesn't feel that about herself, then
Right.
what I'm saying doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, and I feel like as
You
I
can't
got
receive it.
right, and I feel like as I got older, I was able to evolve and grow and love myself and become this bold, beautiful person, you know, sexy, confident woman,
Right.
you know, that I wanted to be. And now I'm here. I feel like for her, she's not at that point yet where she feels like she needs that validation, you know, from other people.
All right. I'm going to read a tweet from Aisha Curry. It's from March 18th, 2011. It says, and I quote, "At the Auto Bell getting a much needed car wash. Don't really need the men trying to holler though. I'm engaged. Jeez, I'm off the market." This was 8 years ago.
She wasn't married.
But
She was,
still,
it was 8 years ago, and she said on the show, and I quote, "For the past 10 years, I've been getting nothing. No male attention."
and when she did get it, she was putting the blockers up, which she should.
So it's like,
Put 'em up.
you put this up, just say, this is 8 years ago. You put this up, the attention stopped. 8 years later, you're mad you're not getting it. But
I
you
don't
stopped
think
it
she's
8 years
mad.
ago.
I don't think she's
Well,
mad.
what is it then?
I'm not saying mad like, I'm just saying.
But 8 years ago was she as 8 years ago was she as known as she is now?
Exactly.
8 years ago was that, you know, I feel like I'm going back to.
She wasn't. How long Steph been?
But I'm going back to respect.
Are you the same person that you were 8 years ago? Were you the same?
Yeah, but y'all defended the girl. We're quoting her words. We're fighting her words with her words.
But you can't bring up what she said 8 years ago. She's a different woman, I think, and she's in a different place. And so you can't bring that up. I get that, but in my opinion, you can't bring that up.
You got to.
I don't think so.
You got to. She said it.
I just think she's in a different place, and I think, you know, I can speak for myself. I don't know, ladies, you tell me, but I know as a wife, right, I go to work, I go to school, I come home, I got to take care of the kids. Sometimes every day you can lose yourself in that. And just imagine, I didn't say I was by myself. Thank you. But I will say,
but you was heading that way.
No, I was not. I'm not by myself at all.
You act like my boy Will don't do nothing.
No,
I know for a fact that he does stuff. He's the man. He used to walk in the house.
But my point is, sometimes you can identify so much with being a wife that you lose who you are first. And I didn't think about it to the point where she's Steph Curry's wife, like you said. That was her come up, right? So she can lose herself in that limelight, and now she becomes the shadow. And then she can lose herself to say, well, wow, who am I? Why am I here? As far as like, why am I next, and what gifts do I bring to the table? And she's trying to figure it all out, and you have to give her time for that.
She's bringing herself to this. She's bringing money into the family. It may not be like as much as Steph, but she's doing her thing. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with being Mrs. Curry. You know, that's your husband. It's not a competition between a husband and wife. And that's why I know, but that's what I said. No, when you get married, the two becomes one.
I agree.
It's not finding my identity. It's finding our identity. What we can do as a Steph plays basketball. That's his job.
Okay, so
I don't know. Make her feel like,
but it's like that because it's like and I go back to if Steph said this, it would be a problem. It would seriously be a problem if I say, I need to find myself.
Okay,
because no, Steph was a superstar in college. She knew what she was getting into.
Always gotten attention from women,
and
they're always been.
And I'm glad you said that. So that means she knew what she was getting into.
Okay, so
she knew that.
Okay,
so don't come here. I think you've been in the league maybe 10, 11 years now. Yes. Now you want to find yourself. Oh, I need an identity. Oh, I got
riding that wave.
You get yourself into.
Yeah, you've been riding that wave.
You knew that.
She made a statement on the Red Table about, you know, having to be, I guess, healthy for not only for herself but for Steph. And trying to, and for her kids, and the way that she found, and the way that she had to get healthy was finding her identity, because I feel like she felt lost in Steph, you know, with all of his fame and just being known as Mrs. Curry. And, you know, I have to come to her defense on this because, and this is where I say I can relate to her. This is where I can say her life is like my life because I'm a mom, she's the mom, she's got goals, I got goals, she's got 3 kids, I got 3 kids, she's got a husband in the limelight, and then I got you, who's in the limelight as well. It may not be as, you know, a basketball player, but you are also in the entertainment business as well. So I know I struggled with that, you know, and it caused a lot of friction trying to figure out where do I fit in all of this.
Right.
I'm not a playwright. I'm not a comedian. I don't do that. So I know that there's more to my identity than just Mrs. Clark. So I had to find something for me. And I feel like for her, that's what she did. She found something for her, which was her cooking, you know, so that she wasn't under just Steph's limelight. Like, she was building her own self, and people realize, like, okay, so she is Mrs. Curry, but she's also this too. And I feel like for me, I had to do the same thing. I had to find something for me as well. So that's when, like, my makeup came into play. Me doing my, you know, the eyebrows and finding what's my niche. What is something that I want to do? What's something that's good for me?
What's your talent?
Yes. And instead of constantly nagging you and trying to be a part of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I also had to find my identity along with being Mrs. Clark.
But you still do. So I don't understand what you're saying.
I still do what?
You still nick and nag and why I need to be this? I need to be something to Chris Clark Entertainment. You still do that. So it's like, what was the point of everything you just said?
I'm sorry. I completely agree.
I'm honestly, I'm being real. It's not. I don't find it losing yourself. I don't find it.
No,
I don't find it like
is.
that.
And that's why I say you don't understand, because
I do, but I think y'all confusing. I think y'all confusing. I can identify with her as being right. Yeah. Like I said before we got on the air, it's like, oh, I can identify with that. Oh, so that means it's okay. No, it's not.
Nobody ever said that that's okay. I never once said that was okay.
Not in those words.
No, I don't. I'm going to say it.
So I have to come to her defense because I can identify with that
statement. In that statement, and I feel like in that, what she said about, I guess, feeling the need for outside attention validates her. I don't agree with
but when you find yourself, you can't lose the people that came up with you. And I feel like that's what she's doing, trying to find herself, and she's putting everybody else down. That statement hurt her husband. No. Whether he whatever he put
that's
ego. Her ego.
No, that's his ego.
Her ego.
That's his ego.
Why is that his ego?
It has nothing to do with him.
It has everything to do with him. She just said I need validation from other men.
But that's not my husband. Is in her development, and this is what I'm going to say too. I think yes, when you're married, you become one. But and Will, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But you always say it's 50-50. You have to come whole, and I have to come whole. And so I come with my talent and what I bring to the table, and you come with what you bring to the table. Together, we can build this empire, right? And that's exactly what I think she's trying to do. She's trying to find herself and become whole so she can meet her husband halfway, and they can build their empire together. I think that's what a marriage is about. I don't think a marriage is, the woman is supposed to hide in the shadow of her husband, and the woman is supposed to, just be the wife. No, she is a woman first. Being a wife is a part of her identity, but it's not her whole identity. Being a mom is a part of who I am, but it's not all of who I am. Before I'm a mom and before I'm a wife, I gotta take care of myself.
I know,
what they say in the airport, put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
I'm a wife, I'm a mom. Else. Steph is a dad, Steph is a husband.
But to the world, he's what? Who is he to the world?
That's to the world.
To Steph Curry's to the world. But in Aisha's world, she's his wife. That's it.
In Aisha's world, that's her husband. He's not Steph, the basketball player. That's my husband, who I met.
I think it's okay to want to have your own. I think it's okay to want to have your own.
When I'm home, I'm Chris. When I'm home, I still have to do stuff around the house. I'm not Chris the comedian. I'm not Chris the playwright. I'm Chris Brittany's husband. My little fame, whatever I got going on, don't mean nothing to her. Diddly squat. I think it was a picture we took. I came home off the airplane, and you took a picture of me, and I was washing dishes, and I put it on Facebook. And I made the statement, I thought I was famous, and I hashtag humble. Like, no, that's our jobs. That's what we do. That's what Steph do. At the end of the day, Steph comes home to Aisha. He come home to them 3 babies. That's who he is. He's a man too. He's a man. He's a father. But everything y'all saying is, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I got to do this. But he's taking care of his family too.
But what you're saying there is, that's just what you're hoping. I guess that's what he's doing because that's what you do.
Right.
But we as public, we don't know. We're not in their household. We don't know that's what he's doing.
We will never hear Steph's side because he will never say
exactly.
Nothing.
So that's what
he know how to keep in-house.
That's what I'm saying. So for her, like, who was it that said it was like a cry for like a cry for help for her? you know, maybe that was a cry for help. For her, that was her way of speaking her truth to her husband.
So
she was surrounded by. I know. For me, when I am in a group around independent, strong, like you said, supported, confident women, you feel you get that little oomph. You get that edge. You get that, you can say how you really feel. And I think for her being surrounded by her mother-in-law and by these other strong females, women. She felt as though this was her platform. This was her time to say how she felt.
How do you know that she didn't go to him first?
I don't think she did.
I'm sorry. I think that. My thing is,
we got problems in your household. You go to each other. You don't go outside.
And that's
family,
exactly.
Mother, father, nobody.
And I ain't trying to get religious on y'all, but that's exactly how the devil creeps in.
Yeah.
That's exactly how he did.
I never went to nobody. Problem with my wife, I don't discuss them. That's what I always learned from.
Now it's a whole bunch of unwanted attention that's going to be in the Curry household.
For no reason.
I promise you that. Her husband is still playing in the playoffs for the NBA championship. He playing tonight in Houston.
That's all he gonna
you know the crap he gonna get tonight, and that was another thing I was thinking. Like, she wasn't thinking about her husband and what he's going to go through. What she said. She's not. That's why I keep saying it's not an individual thing when you're in the marriage, because what I do outside the house affects Brittany, affects my 3 kids, and I feel like her statement affecting Steph is affecting them 3 kids. I mean, even though they're young. But this is the media world. That's gonna hang over their head forever.
Social media.
I think his older daughter may be like 7 or 8 or something. It's going to be over her head when she gets older.
What we're talking about is vulnerability, and I think she had a moment where she was vulnerable, and I think we have to stop saying that, we got to keep everything quiet in the household. That's the problem today. Not many people are vulnerable enough to share their truth, and in that help others and seek help. And I think that it's okay to say, listen, this is how I feel, and not feel judged. Why do we feel the need to have to really judge her because she feels this way when next year she could feel a whole different way? It's okay. It's all temporary.
That's the point.
And I think that
you're feeling
it's
this way
okay
right now,
to feel
you
this
should be
way.
quiet.
No,
you should be quiet because she might feel this way today and not feel that tomorrow.
I'm gonna speak my truth and say this, that I had to say, listen, there's something going on where I don't feel loved. I had to speak my truth in order to seek help so I can get whole and become who I am today. And I just think that it's important that, if you're going through something, that you do speak out. I don't think that you have to be quiet, because then that's when things continue to fester in your own mind and it becomes something else.
You speak
because
out.
Because what we're talking about is self-care.
And
we're talking about self-care. We're talking about also is mental health awareness month. It's so important that you understand that it's okay to be vulnerable. And I think in her moment, why does America feel like they got to have a say on every single thing?
Because she put it out to America.
And guess what? I applaud her for putting it out.
You can't put it out to America and don't want us to respond.
But the thing is, it's okay to respond, fine. But I think I saw a post of hers on Instagram, and she is living life. She's not afraid of what she said. She's proud of what she said, and I applaud her. Not saying that, it's okay to feel that way, but I applaud her for her truth. And I think that as she evolves, she's going to find out later on that, I didn't need to feel that way because I'm beautiful because of who I am. When she's at that place. And I think it takes time, it takes love, it takes healing, and that's what I'm hoping Steph does for her. And I'm hoping that other people do that as well.
I'm hoping too. I'm praying for the Currys. Nobody wants to see a happy home or whatever, a marriage break up. Nobody wants to see that. But again, the point is, you can't make, like they say, you can't make permanent decisions on temporary feelings.
But that wasn't a permanent decision. I don't think that was a permanent decision
out
for
there.
her.
Kiana, it's out there.
So what?
You can't tell the world and then tell me don't judge me.
But honestly, I don't think it's about as far as her saying don't judge me. What I'm saying is it's okay if other people judge, but it is what it is. Does it really matter? Who cares what America feels? It's how she feels in that moment, really. And I think that in that moment, she didn't care about, what that person is going to
She didn't care about
feel.
Steph either.
No, I think she did too. But in her moment, she needed to
lose
speak.
this game tonight. They lose this game. That's all they're going to hear.
Listen,
that's all they're going to hear.
I
Which
honestly
they going to lose.
I honestly believe that in order for me to be the best wife that I can be and the best mom that I can be, I have to be the best Kiana first. And I think that that's what she needs to do first.
But she should have did that before she got married. You got to find yourself before you bring somebody else in.
Now, Britt, come on. I really honestly think
so
that when you're married,
you think you should get married and then find yourself?
No, I didn't say that, but I'm saying in her situation, and I can identify with that as well. Look, we got engaged when we was 19 years old. Did I really know who I was at 19? Did you know who you was?
You got engaged, but you wasn't married.
We got married at 23. 23. I'm not going to say that I know. I knew. You was 25. You forgot?
We was 23, 24.
But are you the same man that you are today?
No.
Exactly. You changed. You grew.
I've changed, but it's not in the world. I didn't, at 24, I didn't make a statement that I'm doing at 11 years later.
I just honestly think that when I got married, and I say that to Will, especially because pretty soon we're going to be celebrating 10 years of marriage.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's hope we get there. After this debate.
Will.
It took hard work.
It's tough.
It took hard work, but I will say, listen, we've been through trials. It's been a lot that we've been through, and I will say it's because I didn't know who I was at 23. I knew I loved Will. I knew that I loved him deeply, but the way I love him now is differently than I loved him at 23. I love him more. Why? Because I love myself more, and I think that. You have to say that I'm not the same person. That's why we're going to be renewing our vows soon, and that's why I want to recommit myself to my husband, because I'm a different woman at 32 than I was at 23, and I have to say that I can truly say what love is now.
But shouldn't you got married at 32?
I got married at 23.
No, I'm saying, shouldn't you have gotten married at 32 because you found yourself?
No, absolutely not. But I found myself through our love. I found ourselves through all the things that we've been through. I mean, all the experiences. And no, I don't regret getting married at 23, but I will say that being married at 23 and being married at 32 is totally different. I will say the things that we argued about then, we don't argue about now. I mean, half the time we argue about food.
That's
we did.
That's growth as a marriage.
But that's not what I'm saying.
That's not individual. That's togetherness.
No, that was individual too, because I'm a different woman. And I say that first. I'm a different woman before I'm a different wife. I'm a different woman, and now I can say things differently. I can do things differently. I can be a different. Me, a mom at 20. I was 24 when I gave birth to Kiara. And now as a mother, I'm totally different. My views, my ideas, my thoughts, everything is different. And I think that's what we talk about, evolution.
So we should say Aisha made the statement because of immaturity.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that was my whole point that I was trying to make is, she was freshly 30. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I had so many women that, who I've spoken to, and they're in their 40s and 50s now, and they tell me, like, your 30s are going to be like the best years of your life, right? Because that's where you evolve. That's where you learn who you truly are. Mm-hmm. When you're a 20-year-old woman, and like I have to speak with Kiana, like, we were young wives. By the time I was 25, I had 3 babies. And my husband is leaving on weekends, flying off every place. So I struggled a lot with, am I gorgeous enough? Am I good enough? You know what I mean? So when I turned 30, that's when I just had to, and I had to speak on this too. You said, you said to Kiana, well, why didn't you get married when you were 33? And I feel like if I didn't get married with you when I did, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today, because I feel like with your love, for me, it helped me to find who I am. Right. So if I got married now, we would be in a totally different type of marriage. But
that goes back to not finding yourself. I mean, it's not finding being one. It's being together. Because
I think if you
helping you.
I think if you ask any woman, and I hope that women leave comments on this podcast. If you ask any woman, I know women who are 48 and women who are in their 50s who are still trying to find themselves.
You're always
still
searching.
trying to figure out if this is who they're supposed to be, or if this is what is meant to be, or you're always trying to figure out if, what is what. You're never really...
You never have the answer.
Right.
It's like you're still searching for something.
Right, and I can honestly say at this point in my life, this is like the best point in my life, because I can honestly say, like, I know who Britt is. Mm-hmm. I know who I am. Right. And I have to, think about our marriage and the things that we've been through, and because I am who I am is because I had you sticking by me. Right. I had you, spiritually helping me grow into the person that I am. So for that comment, well, why didn't you get married when you know who you are? I'm not going to be the same Brittany I am when I'm 40. I'm still probably, something's going to happen, or something's going to sag, or something's going to, make me question, life.
It comes,
and then it's going to come back again to me trying to figure out, like, am I good enough? Am this, am that? So, I feel like as women, and it's just, and the way that society is with, like you said, it's a media society, we're constantly, trying to figure out where we fit at, and
always asking, are we enough?
And
Aisha, you are enough. And ladies, you are enough.
But as far as, that's another point that I'm trying to make with Chris. He helps me realize that I am enough. Is Steph helping Aisha realize, is she enough? Do you see what I'm saying? She might not feel like she's enough because she needs that, I guess, other men's attention to feel like she's enough.
She should only want his validation.
Okay,
but
well, we all agree on that. We all agree that statement that she made, we don't agree with that statement. We all agree with that. But what me and Kiana are saying at that point in her life, as being 30, as being young, as being in the limelight,
it's not that I don't agree with the statement. Is that I don't agree
how she said it.
No, where she said it.
Where she said it.
It's that because I get insecurity. We all have insecurity. It's not a female trait. It's a human being trait. We all have insecurity.
But
it's where you say it,
and that's where you go back to maturity. And I had to learn
because it's like. I'm a man. You see me in the mirror sometimes. Sometimes I get insecure about how I look.
Right.
Brittany, does this look good? You tell me all the time, look good. No, I don't. I say that.
I feel like
but I'm not
broadcasting it.
Yeah, I'm not broadcasting it and putting it out there where it can potentially affect you.
But you have to, okay, so you mentioned something about her mother-in-law. Like she said it in front of her mother-in-law. Who's to say after the taping was over that her mother-in-law didn't pull her to the side?
But that's my thing. She should have corrected her right there.
Well, maybe she didn't want to embarrass her.
It shouldn't even.
Let me tell you, I can speak. And here I'm going to speak my truth because I remember being young and being married to you, and I'm out acting like a fool and getting angry at you and saying things, and Miss Amy has pulled me aside. Mm-hmm. And said, you can't do that. You can't be like that. Right. What happens between you and Chris, you got to deal with that in your home.
Yeah, but we all agree you was wrong. Correct?
I agree that I was wrong, but I'm just saying she might.
That's the same thing
but the point that I'm trying to make is,
but I think her mother-in-law had to do it in the right way.
She wasn't going to do it on national TV.
She wasn't going to her daughter-in-law in front of everybody. Because think about how
my mother-in-law did it. My mother-in-law did it. She didn't do that. She didn't do it in front of people. No, Miss Amy didn't. She pulled me aside,
my mom would have gave you a nice little. No, it ain't what she would have did. Is how she should have did it. My mom would have gave you a nice little tap, like she gave you that tap, like Brittany.
She has, and I'll be honest,
and that's what Mrs. Curry should have did. She should have tapped Aisha and like. All right,
but you know what? In that moment, I think a mother's love, and I'll be honest, like my mother-in-law is awesome. I just want to say that.
Yeah, you better say Miss Becky off.
She is the bomb. I love my mother-in-law, and I'll say this: I think a good mother-in-law is not going to embarrass their daughter-in-law.
Thank you.
They're not.
Thank you.
It's a way that they
Thank
are
you.
going to
Because
correct and
they
finesse
know.
the way.
That's what
They
I just
know.
said.
In that moment,
I'm not saying
and I think
embarrassing.
in that
Yes.
moment, Aisha didn't need a correction. She needed validation.
No, she
and I
needed
think
a
that those
correction.
ladies around her, strong, powerful women, uplifted her and empowered her and said, all right, like, we hear you. And I think it's okay when you're hearing somebody's truth. You don't want to shut them down.
No, they gave
You
her that.
wanna-
Yes, boo. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what.
And
I mean, not in the
because
words,
I
but
think they
that's what
could
they were-
identify
Yes.
with her when
Yeah,
they were 30.
but
or
nobody,
when they were
nobody
20.
corrected her.
We don't know that.
You don't know,
Jada,
Chris.
Jada says she know how
went
she
through
feels
the
because she
same
went through the
thing.
same thing.
Exactly. And that's my point.
So it's basically basically telling me
it's evolution.
it's okay.
It is okay.
It's not okay.
It's okay that she feels. You can't tell
It-
somebody
this how this
not
conversation
okay
should
how
have
they
went.
feel.
You Aisha, you made the conversation. Girl, it's all right. Your husband, that's all you need. You know.
And that's what Jada said. Jada said.
She said I went through the same thing.
And then she said, "You know who knows your husband." Jada made
She didn't say what I said. She didn't say what I said.
Just like that. Look,
She
your husband knows.
She said your husband knows.
Men want her.
No.
Men want her. That's
And
what
he
your
knows that
husband-
she's beautiful.
That statement ain't got nothing to do with what I just said. Ain't got nothing to do. Cause that was right after they said, you're not looking.
Right,
That's
it's
why
not on the radar.
you're
And
not
she's
you're not looking. She is
She's
looking
not
because she
looking.
noticing there ain't nobody talking to her. But you know who is noticing people looking at you? Your husband. That's who's noticing.
I can't with him. I can't with you.
Because I'm trying to break down the conversation. Y'all hearing it? You have to break down the
Women
conversation.
and men think differently. We
Like
gonna
I
say
said
it that
before,
way.
if it was him doing
Yeah,
it,
if
it would
it-
be all
exactly.
heck
But in
breaking.
reality, is that really
Yeah,
like
it's
real?
Yes,
true?
it's
That
true.
he, as a
True.
basketball player,
It's
making
true.
lots of money,
It don't
that he
matter.
It don't
don't have
matter.
nobody on his DM. It was a post. It
No,
was
because
about
I'm
a
talking
woman
about- we
was
ain't
in
talking
a
about him in
basketball
basketball. You gotta
player's
switch
DM,
roles.
and she thought she was sending a provocative picture to the basketball player to say, "Oh, I'll be your stress reliever."
Nah,
Knowing
it
that
wasn't
this
a
is,
basketball
but
player.
it was
It was a baseball player. Bryce Harper.
Yeah, there
But
we
she
go.
sent it to
but
his
she
wife.
sent it to his wife.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So let's talk about that. Like, I mean, how do you think
But
feels?
his wife corrected it.
Yeah, she corrected it, but my point is, there's women all the time, you know.
All right, but his wife is not on. Oh well, I feel insecure because
You don't know how she feels.
But
She
it's
didn't
like-
put it
it's
that
like, how
out
can you-
there.
the only
But I'm
reason-
just saying, in reality, when we think about it, there are basketball players, football players, in entertainment that, yes, these men are faced with women that throw themselves at them all the time. Maybe not even for their looks, but just for their money.
But there's women too because
When you
y'all
say-
act
when
like
you
women
say-
are not in the limelight and don't
Oh,
have
yeah, it's the
and
same
don't
with
have
men.
husbands.
Oh, we gonna put it out there.
there.
There's men
But
out
you-
there.
But you,
It's a-
but
it's a
you
dual
don't
situation.
hear that. You don't hear that from the men
Maybe men aren't speaking their truth, and y'all need to.
because no, why?
Come on, let's
Why?
talk about men's
How is that?
insecurities
How is
and-
that
and
helping?
y'all-
How is that helping anybody saying I
think
need
it will
validation
help.
from
I think
other people?
I think it will help a lot of
How?
men open up about their
How?
feelings because that's the whole point.
That's it.
We need to
That's
start
all
opening
it,
up
that's
about
all
how
it would
people
do
feel.
is have people open up about their feelings. Nothing,
what's wrong with that?
Nothing would get resolved.
How do you know?
You're opening up because you have to get resolved. You're going to a
think
therapist to
that's
tell
the
them about your
first
feelings so they
step.
can help you.
Is opening up
If I'm
about
telling
how you
Will I
feel.
have a problem and he has no answer for me, this was pointless.
That's not true.
It is true.
Because maybe in that moment of you being vulnerable to your friend,
Nope.
he can empower you. He can uplift you. He can. And there's plenty of times.
No,
Brittany
it's
is
not-
not. Let me tell you, there's times when I talk to Brittany and she might not
You
have the
should-
answer
but
for
you-
me,
you
but she
saying
will
what
help
I
me.
going against what
find-
I'm saying.
even if it's encouragement, even if it's support, even if it's like, girl, I'm gonna pray for you, girl. We're gonna get through this together. I mean, just that support enough is help. And I think that we have to identify that there's different types of help out there, and it may not be the entire answer, but opening up and sharing how you feel is nothing wrong with that.
I think you should only share if you have a testimony. That's just me.
I'm sorry. I am not agreeing with that. I am not agreeing with that. So
you should only.
You gotta wait till you get to the other side to share your truth. Then you gotta be quiet and wait till everything
that's how
is
you
perfect to
help
share
people.
your truth. I think that's wrong.
That's how you help people. All right, point taken. Point taken. No. Point taken, because the play I just wrote, I called the whole purpose of that play, and it's a plug too. The whole purpose of that play is the younger people in that play go to the older people.
Yes.
Because I have to say it because I ain't really want to give the play away. But the more of the thing is, the older people went through what the young people are going through. So they are talking to them and giving them wisdom because they've been through it.
Older women.
Not that they're in it. Not that they're in it. Yeah, she was. Point taken. She was. Mm-hmm. But the older women didn't get her through it. They just met her in it and gave her a pity party. Yes, girl. Yeah, I know what you're going through.
We don't know the second.
But don't give
conversations that happened after.
But if that's the point, don't give us half a story.
Nobody wants to that could be a long another episode.
Don't give me a climax and we're not ending.
But why do you need to see that? As America, why do we need to see that? As long as she's getting support.
Why we need to see it in the first place then?
Because we need to. It feels good when you say I'm going through something and say, "Wow, I'm not alone." I'm sure Aisha felt really good to hear that. Oh wow, other women go through this. Like wow, I'm not alone in this feeling. And in that moment, that empowers.
All right, but what's the point is how do we get through it?
That way. And I'm
how
sure
do we get through it?
I'm sure now that her mother-in-law knows, if she got a mother-in-law like mine, it's going to help her get through it.
All right, but now she was on the platform. Now you're going to get a resolution or results that we're not going to see. You gave us the problem, but you didn't give us the answer.
I think there is an answer to that.
I hope it is, but we're not going to see it because they're not going to do a Red Table Part 2.
Why do you need to see it though?
Why did I need to see that?
As long as it's okay.
Why did I need to see that? It's like I can't help you if I don't have an answer for you. Yeah. If you coming to me, what's 1 + 1? Oh man, I don't know. I'm not helping you. I'm going to pray for you though. I'm going to pray that you find the answer. That's not helping me. Show me. That's how you get answers. You show me. That's why we go to church.
Maybe
we go to church for answers.
Maybe she did get the answer or there was a resolution to it because by her saying what she said, and Steph then replying, you said, or his publicist replying, or
I'm gonna read it. It's
well, before you read it, let me finish saying what I had to say. Maybe that was the resolution. He heard his wife,
right?
So he's a little bit more private than her. So on his story or post or whatever, he commended her for being vulnerable and speaking her truth. And maybe to her, as a woman, that's probably all she needed was to know that he noticed
and he got her back,
and he got her back,
exactly.
and that right there, even though he didn't I guess say I don't know if he said I love you or not, but to her that probably meant the world to her. That probably was the attention that she was seeking.
But that's the whole thing. She should have went to him first. That's what we're trying to say.
And nobody is saying that you are wrong with it.
Right.
We don't know if she did.
Steph said, proud of you for being authentic and putting yourself out there, not being afraid of the potential BS and the nonsense that could and did come at you. Way more positive than negative with all of this. Keep being you. I love you. And that was on his Instagram stories.
He's supposed to.
He posted it 20 hours ago.
And I applaud him.
So it has 4 hours and it's going to be erased forever.
What's nobody else is going to see it. Chris?
My point is, if you defended your wife, why are you going to put it on a 24-hour notice?
But like you said, it's out there. Like, come on, people are screenshotting that. I mean, it's out there for everyone to see.
He made it everybody else's job to put it out there.
I'll say, I think, what we've been talking about. Aisha, she posted a couple days ago, it's a long post, so I'm not going to read it all, but just to say that, you know, it's okay to be human. It's okay to speak your truth and to be unapologetic in that moment. And I think that's what she was trying to do.
And I think for her, for posting that was her way of acknowledging maybe what she said wasn't the best time, or where she wasn't the best time.
She want to speak her truth, but now she want to sugarcoat of what she mean. It's like, all right, that's your truth. Exactly. It's your truth. Keep it to yourself.
No, she doesn't need to keep it to her. I mean, okay, let me just read the top part of this. Because she said, does it spark joy? I have never been one to cage my feelings and emotions to any capacity. I am human. It brings me pure joy to speak my mind, be vulnerable at times, and to know myself inside and out. Seeing as it is Mental Health Awareness Month, I really want to take the time to encourage everyone to speak their truth regardless of perception, fitting into a mold, or offending someone, because it's your truth. And she's not afraid of it. And I think that is the whole point, that there's so many people out there that are denying how they feel, or they want to closet how they feel. And it's okay to speak your truth. Too many people are running away from help and from, you know, people out there that can support them. And I'll tell you that there have been people that have supported me through marriage, through my profession, and it came from, you know, me talking first.
But who was the number one supporter? Your husband.
And I appreciate that, Will.
Exactly.
I really do.
So that's where
of course.
The husbands get lost in all this nonsense that they go through.
It sounds like it's an ego issue with the man.
Ego.
It is an issue because it to me sometimes it feel like women act like men have no feelings.
No,
it's because
I know y'all do.
No, it's because
in the closet.
Because the way we handle things, or how we hide our feelings, whatever, quote unquote, hide our feelings. But it always seems, I think when they find themselves, they forget who they with. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you finding yourself? You're losing me. You know what I mean? Like, what's more important to you? Because you're doing things to find yourself that's making me feel. Now you're finding yourself for you to get validation. Now it's making me feel some type of way. And it's like, oh, well, you need attention from other men. Mm-mm. So how does that make me feel?
No, that's the ego
thing. No, it's an ego thing for her, too.
No, it's not.
It is an ego thing. When you need validation from something, it's always the ego thing.
I don't think
how does that make a man, like, okay, husbands?
I'm trying to tell you.
Okay,
I'm trying to tell you.
Like, how do you
as a husband, I hear my wife make this statement. It makes me feel that what am I doing? What, like, am I not good enough? Like, now you're feeling like you're not good enough, but you're making me feel like I'm not good enough. Like, me showing you love is not good to you. Me touching you on your butt, making you not feeling good. I tell you I love you. I kiss you good night. I tell you about my day. I involve you in stuff.
Well, who's to
but
say?
You still need validation for other men to tell you that you're beautiful and all that.
He's doing that.
All right, but we're not talking about what is. We're talking about the facts. The facts is that she said this. And I'm telling you as a husband, if you said this is how I would feel. And I don't think in me, and I took it personally because I am a husband, and I don't think she took consideration of how Steph would feel, regardless of what he wrote on the thing. Because I commend, that's your wife. Something like this shouldn't break y'all up. I will say that something like this shouldn't break y'all up. And if you wrote it, I still have your back, but I will let you know how I feel. I wouldn't do a round table. I wouldn't be on ESPN. I wouldn't be on whatever TV or platform or podcast, whatever, saying what and say, I would say it to you. And that's what, I believe men will, and other men, and even some women are saying. That conversation or that statement should have went to her and Steph. Regardless if he would listen or not, make him listen. Go to marriage counseling. It should have been in a closed environment. It shouldn't have been broadcast on TV. It shouldn't have. I don't care if she talked to Jada and her mother-in-law. I don't care. That's her family. That's her friends. But it shouldn't have been said in front of the cameras for the world to see. And now you have to make statements saying, oh, it's my truth. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to do that. Yeah, that's your truth. If you need to go to your mother-in-law and Jada for them to help you, that's what you need to do. But don't tell me not to judge you when you broadcast it for me to see. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't get mad because we're sitting here having a whole podcast about your statement, but you put it on a show that I watch. You put it on a show that everybody sees. Everybody's going to get everything out of something. Yeah, y'all got that out of what she said. We got something else. You know what I mean? Just like we're not going to understand what a woman's go through, a mother, your wife, whatever. Y'all not going to understand what a man go through. You're not going to understand what a husband go through. You know, like people sit here and they that's why I really hate that. Oh, the women, like y'all forget about the men. Yeah, we got tough skin. We do this and that, but it's like, come on, we got insecurities too. I ain't saying it's right, but we got them. And it's like, oh, because you trying to find yourself, you losing me. You making me feel bad.
But I don't think that's
and then, but you said it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing for both parts.
I don't think me trying to find who I am and loving myself is pushing my husband away.
But it's how you do it though. But it's how you do it.
It's how you do it. But I honestly will say that, you know, out of me the result of me finding out who I am and loving myself, I find that Will and I have gotten closer. Our marriage it's just been, I mean, in my opinion, I'm in a good place.
Because you did it the right way.
I wouldn't necessarily, there's been mistakes. There's been things that that we, on both ends, that we could have done differently and could have done better. But I think that from those, experiences, that's where we found out who we really are in our marriage and how we can grow together. So I think that, there's no right or wrong. I think we learn from our mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes.
It is.
And I think that, okay. I mean, it's about supporting one another. And like, there's going to be times when, there have been times when I had to support Will, and there's been times when he had to support me in my wrong. And I had to support him in his wrong so we can find our right. And I think that that's what it is, really. That's what life is about. I mean, honestly, it's not about doing everything perfect. And that's the whole, that's a whole nother podcast, social media and how people want to take a picture of when it's all good.
Start a new podcast.
But my point is, I mean, showing perfection is that's not truth. That's not real. That's not being authentic. And that's not how people learn. I think you learn from your mistakes. You learn from what can you do differently. And in that, you will find your perfection. We're not perfect.
We're not.
We're not perfect.
But I bet she don't say nothing like this again.
But I'll tell you one thing.
Out loud.
I'll tell you one thing that we're close to it in my eyes because of some, and we're going to make more mistakes. We got hopefully a long way. So we're going to make more mistakes. It's going to be trial and error, but we're going to find our perfection, what we identify, what perfection is for us. And it's going to be different from somebody else. Everybody's marriage is different. I applaud Aisha. I applaud Steph. I think that, it's okay to share your truth. I'm glad that he put that post out there to support her because honestly, you're right, Chris. I do agree. I mean, everybody has their insecurities and we have to support one another, men and women. That's what marriage is, supporting one another.
Right. It's good. Good. Brittany, any words?
No.
You done ticked her off.
It's all right. It's Chris Clark show.
We changing this around. It's Sister Talk featuring Chris Clark and Will Walker.
It's my equipment, so yeah. Good luck with that.
We're going to turn this around.
Nah, this was a good show. I'm glad we got both sides and people that's listening. I hope y'all got something out of it. You can leave your comments, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Podbean or Google Play or Spotify. We also on Spotify. Any last words, anybody?
Speak your truth. Be unapologetically you. That's all. That's it.
Will?
I just hope, I used to get it together.
I do too.
But I think he supported his wife, and hopefully he made her feel better by make that statement. Like you said, every marriage is different. I know if that was me and my wife, you saying that would have been eat the cake anime. Nah, just play it. But I would have supported her and try to, make it better. And hopefully that's what Steph going to do in this situation.
That's right. Yeah, that's our podcast for the day. I want to thank Will and Kiana, my wife Brittany, for being a part of the Chris Clark Show. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Chris Clark Comedy. You can follow me on Twitter at Comic Chris Clark. Also go to my website, chrisclarkcomedy.com. Sign up for the newsletter. I called my dinner theater show June 1st, 2019 in Vineland, New Jersey. Check it out. With all that being said, thank y'all for listening. Peace.